Thanks to first-hand accounts, this program tells the story of women who've been part of Italy's Camorra Mafia. Some chose to collaborate and are now protected in secret locations. Other women opted not to collaborate with the state and are currently serving their full sentences in jail.
My name is Antonella Madonna. I'm 31 years old. I am a collaborator. Now my life has changed completely. My hopes for the future aren't so much for myself, but rather for my daughters. I hope they'll make me proud one day. I hope people will respect them. And I hope they'll maintain their integrity.
Antonella Madonna's story begins right here in the streets of Ercolano, close to Naples. It's in these same streets that she'd go on to lead a clan. A young woman feared and respected by everyone. But as a young girl, Antonella dreamed of a very different kind of future.
I always liked carabinieri uniforms, guns, and things like that. It was what I loved most. I really wanted to become a carabinieri officer. I never got the chance to continue school, so my dream ended at the age of 8.
Antonella Madonna was born in 1984. She came from a very humble background. In the past, her father had been convicted of a number of petty crimes and got by thanks to little jobs as a workman or a bricklayer.
I'm from a modest family, just like all non-Camorra families usually are.
La mano con la camorra, diciamo così.
Antonella grows up in a very ordinary family from Ercolano, a small town at the feet of the volcano Vesuvius.
Ercolano is a very beautiful place. It's only a few kilometers away from the center of Naples. It's world famous for its precious ruins of ancient Ercolano. But at the same time, the Camorra is deeply rooted in Ercolano.
Ercolano used to be a huge drug hub for the whole of Europe. It all went through there. Ercolano even had its off-limits areas, places so scary you definitely avoid them at night.
Ercolano is a difficult town to live in, something Antonella discovers early on.
I was only about 10 or 11, but I was already aware of the trafficking. The Pugliano district was swarming with drug addicts back then. They were dying, dropping like flies right in front of the kids in the street. We were right in the heart of Camorra's main drug headquarters, Canalone Street. Cuparella and Pugliano Square. That's where we'd meet as kids.
Antonella isn't just observing her surroundings, though. She wants to play a leading role in town.
Even amongst friends, I thought I was number one. It's also part of my character, in a way. I wanted to be the boss, even back then.
The real bosses, of course, are the heads of the Camorra clans. They're the ones who decide who may live and who must die.
All of a sudden there were sirens, roads cordoned off, people screaming. Lots of people were looking at something awful. A man lay on the ground, shot dead by the Camorra, one of the many killed in the streets of the area.
At the start of the 90s, Ercolano is a town split in two. On the one side, the Ascione clan, on the other, the Birra clan. They are fighting an everyday war to gain control of the area. By now, people are scared to even talk about the clans. Anyone who takes sides becomes a potential target. People in Ercolano are being killed every day. Antonella grows up in the midst of this brutal war. It's her everyday life. And it's within this warped normality that she meets her first love, Natale Dantese.
I met my husband when I was about 11 or 12. I found him very fascinating. He was already someone feared by the kids there. Even adults were afraid of him. To me, he was someone who stood above everyone else.
He was the cool dude, the cocky guy in the area, and she's captivated.
As far as Antonella is concerned, her bond with Natale isn't just a fling. It's the great love story of her life. Antonella is still too young to understand that this affair will change her life forever. Natale isn't just a kid like all the others.
My father found out I was Natale's girlfriend, and he was opposed to it because Natale was a budding camorrista.
Antonella is too much in love to heed her father's advice. But once she gets pregnant, he's forced to accept the situation. Pregnant Antonella moves in with Natale and his parents. This is her new family, a family with strong links to the Camorra.
Natale Dantese's father is Ciro Dantese, known in the criminal world as Ciro the Claw. He's a man who's been convicted many times in the past for drug dealing and possession of unregistered guns and weapons. He's a figure who has always been part of the Ascione clan.
I felt like I was this man's daughter-in-law back then. People respected you, even though the respect was born straight out of fear.
The Dantese family is allied with the Ascione family and plays an important role in drug trafficking in Ercolano. This is the environment in which Antonella gives birth. She's only 14.
I was the princess in the house. My father-in-law provided us with everything, anything we wanted. He treated me as if I were his own daughter.
She can count on her mother-in-law to help her raise her daughter. A woman who everyone in Ercolano knows very well.
Natale Dantese's mother is Clelia Suarino, cousin of Natale Suarino, who is a major drug dealer in the area.
The Suarino family are feared throughout Ercolano. A very important family with links to various industries, including construction and retail.
They were the clan's treasurers. They were the minds behind the books.
The Suarino family is without doubt a vital element to the Ascione clan.
Despite Antonella being surrounded by such an intense family, she leads a life without any problems or worries. Until that fateful night. The night when the police arrest her father-in-law, Ciro Dantese. Antonella is very worried now. She's afraid Natale, her daughter's father, might also end up in jail.
Even though I was very young, I already understood the dangers. My husband would read these court papers and say, "This bit's about me." However, there wasn't any major proof yet to try him in court. Do you want them to put you in jail? We talked it over and decided to put a stop to it all. And for him to get a job.
Natale and Antonella have decided to start a new life, leaving crime behind and raising their daughter in a better way. A few years have gone by, and they're now both adults and live in a house of their own like any normal couple. Antonella is a housewife, while Natale works at local construction sites.
He'd leave the house in the morning around 7 and would be back around 5 in the evening. He knew how to earn people's respect, even as a laborer. That was very important to him. It was all very normal, a very calm, normal life.
Normalissima.
Despite his good intentions, it's hard to cut the cord to his past. The Ascione clan still treat him as one of their own, a family member. A family he can't allow himself to abandon. Natale knows he's back in when the rivaling Bira clan pays him a visit at the site. They're asking for protection money at his building site of all places.
What do you want?
What do you think I want?
How am I supposed to know?
I want money.
What are you gonna do? Threaten me?
Listen, I'll be here tomorrow morning. I want 3,000 euros. Am I clear? Now get back to work. Let's go. Here's a little souvenir for you.
Even though Natale has left his criminal life behind, this is an insult his family simply can't ignore. Natale has realized the clan will never stop seeing him as one of their own. He's ready to get back into things as soon as he gets the chance. It's time to leave his job and start drug trafficking again. No more hard work for little pay. Time to get back to the old ways. Ways far more profitable.
Make sure you clean that up. Some nights we'd make 5,000 or 6,000 euros. I mean, economically, it's a whole different story. You can buy anything you want. There's no limit. If you want something, you go out and you get it.
Natale is back in the game. Once again, he's back with the Ascione clan, and this time Antonella has no objections.
I knew everything. I knew it all, even back then. I was ready to help my husband then and there.
The good life doesn't last too long for Antonella. They've only been back with the clan for a few months, when the police raid their apartment.
I was at home when the police came. Of course, they found the cocaine in the house, and I was charged immediately.
Antonella manages to avoid being arrested, but Natale is put in jail for drug possession and trafficking.
He'd been clean up until then. No previous convictions, so he was out under house arrest after just 2 or 3 months. Enough. I don't want to have anything to do with this anymore.
Antonella has made up her mind. She does everything she can to convince Natale to stop dealing. The risk of him being arrested once more is too great, especially now that they're expecting their second child. Unfortunately, Antonella's efforts come to nothing. Natale is too deep in the clan's business by now.
What are you doing? You're going to get yourself arrested again.
At a certain point in time, she strongly opposes her husband's plans, but she can't let go because of the great love she feels for Natale.
He kept on doing it, even behind my back. I gradually found out, and he confessed how serious it was. He risked getting killed. He'd stuck his neck out too far, and I accepted all of it.
Nice stuff.
Natale is more and more successful, and business is going very well. He's now ready to become one of the leaders of the clan. Natale has changed completely. He now sits at the same table as the heads of the Ascione clan. But the feud between the two clans in Ercolano is far from over. The Bira clan decide it's time to step things up, to kill one of the heads of the Ascione clan. The clan chiefs had always felt safe up until that moment. But from now on, it's open war, and everyone's involved.
It could have happened to anyone, a brother, anyone in the family. The whole thing just spiraled out of control. No one could be trusted anymore.
Now that Natale is a kingpin, she doesn't fear jail anymore. She fears for their lives. After the assassination, the Ascione clan needs to reorganize things. It's time for Natale to take charge of operations. The entire Cannellone area is now under his control.
After his rise to the top, we moved to a bigger apartment on a higher floor. So then we didn't need to be so scared of someone standing outside the door, the way it used to be in the old flat. I liked decorating the house. It was a passion of mine. It was a nice house. A nice home. I had the bedroom painted burgundy, with the crown coming down from the curtains. It was sort of Venetian style. Very beautiful. Cheers to us. I wasn't afraid anymore. I stopped worrying. On the contrary, I was growing stronger every day because I knew what I was heading towards.
The clan is getting richer and richer. Their money flow is increasing day by day. Not just through dealing, but also through extortion.
The main method used to control the area is the use of violence. Violence is the #1 instrument for any clan.
We heard the motorbikes charging down our lane towards us, and we thought, here they are. They grabbed me and said, "Do you not understand?" And I saw they had a gun with them. I was terrified. What do you want from us? You need to pay, says he. I need to pay. What do I need to pay exactly? You need to give us 5,000 euros now, and then 500 each month. Really?
Everyone paid, and nobody would press any charges. And those who didn't pay would be hit badly by the clans.
My uncle was there, and he said, "Run, run!" He was terrified. "Come here, quick! They've bombed the bakery!" When we got to the bakery, it was all a huge mess. Your whole life is torn apart. We were in despair. I saw 2 young men who I knew were carabinieri. I said, "I'm the owner of this bakery. I need to come with you now." They tried to quieten me down. They said, "Calm down." Why should I be calm? Give me pen and paper. I'm going to write it all down.
Just like Sofia did, lots of shop owners begin speaking out. And following the first accusations, many more soon follow. A massive operation marks a first huge defeat for Ercolano's clans.
The operations began, those that Dr. Filippelli and I called systematic inquiry. That entailed first hitting one clan, then the other, and then immediately go back to the first.
We'd have these raids in which we'd arrest 20, 30, 40 people at a time. It was a matter of hitting the criminal organizations very hard. They just weren't used to having to deal with the law.
Sometimes they'd come 3 or 4 times a day. First the carabinieri, then the finance police. We got to the point where we'd even have 5 searches in one day, which means the house was in constant disarray.
After the wave of arrests, the clan has to deal with a new emergency. The number of informants is growing every day. By now, the police know everything about the clans.
For the first time, a high number of informants is collaborating. They are starting to explain the inner mechanisms of the organization.
At the end of 2009, thanks to revelations by the informants, the heads of the Ascione clan are all behind bars. The only member who still hasn't been arrested is Natale. It's his turn now to take on the role as a clan leader.
It's open war with the Birra clan. Now Natale Dantese is not only in charge of extortions, but is also responsible for all drug operations in the area. But it's not just that. Natale is now also having people killed. He personally gives orders to shoot a number of Birra clan members. They'd kill anyone, anywhere, in front of their wives, their kids. It was a massacre.
That's what the murders were there for. To get as many, let's say, points as possible. To me, it was all normal. It wasn't... I didn't feel bad about it. It was just normal for me.
Antonella isn't just a boss's wife. She's now a full-fledged clan member.
Antonella Madonna fully participates in the clan's activities. She becomes her husband's main advisor. She works on the same strategic lines.
She had a very important role in the analysis of the situation. She had studied all the court orders and measures which were afflicting the members of the clan. She'd read the collaborators' transcripts, analyzing them. She often figured out what the police's next move would have been. She was a very clever, very cunning woman.
It's her who pays the families when the men get arrested and jailed. She takes care of supporting the Camorra members' families. This is an extremely important role within the Camorra system.
3 or 4 boys had already been put in jail. We had to support them for Natale's sake. We did everything we could to keep them from collaborating in jail.
Per mantenerli buoni, calmi, per non farli collaborare con la giustizia.
Queste cose non mi dimentico. Cosa ce la fa?
Antonella is now feared and respected by all. She's the one who's taking care of the clan's money.
I don't like this.
We respect you.
Do you want to end up lying in the gutter?
In the meantime, Natale is taking care of the dealing and extortions. It's a racket that needs to be defended, whatever the cost. Especially now, when so many clan members are behind bars. The clan needs to pay for all the lawyers and for the jailed members' families. Natale and Antonella are in a deep financial crisis. But the worst is yet to come.
Natale Dantese was the last remaining clan leader in Ercolano. In order to avoid further escalation, the police decided to deliver the final blow by arresting the last boss.
Arrestando l'ultimo dei capi.
It's time for Natale Dantese to say goodbye to Ercolano.
I knew that day was coming, and sure enough, it did. I was the only one left.
She becomes the zia, the woman in charge, once Natale is arrested. She was called zia, meaning aunt in Italian, as a sign of respect. She was so young, still is even today. She was just 24 or 25 when she takes control of the entire clan.
I felt like I could maintain the level Natale had achieved when I took on that role. I was directing the boys who hadn't been arrested yet and made them do everything necessary. Everything I'd learned from, let's say, the master. Things were getting intense in every respect. When you reach those heights, your adrenaline level soars. You feel like you're above everyone and everything.
Antonella Madonna is even more determined and charismatic than her husband Natale. Inside the jail, he realizes he has lost his power. He's helpless simply because Antonella had taken over.
Antonella is the only boss. Everyone else in the clan is below her. But she still isn't satisfied. Power and respect can't fill the emptiness caused by Natale's absence.
And in the evening, you go back to being the woman you always are. You lie in bed and think about everything that you're missing. You might be in a great house, but it's cold and empty without any love. You feel lost and disoriented on a relationship level.
And the emptiness grows each and every day, up until she finds the right man to fill that vacant space. A weakness which could end up costing her dearly, because Antonella is now under surveillance round the clock.
We figured something was wrong when she started seeing this guy, this young man from Torre del Greco.
Antonella has been seeing him for a few months now. He's not involved with the Camorra. He works on the Naples ferries. It's not just a quick fling for Antonella. She falls deeply in love with her new partner. She begins to dream of a new life for herself and her daughters, far from Ercolano, far from the Camorra.
He made me feel important. He reassured me all the time because he eventually found out whose wife I was. I explained to him we were in great danger of the family finding out, whereas he always said he was taking on his responsibilities. His responsibilities as a partner, to be with me and never leave.
The clan isn't Antonella's top priority anymore. Her love affair with this man is becoming more important each day. An affair which needs to remain a secret at all costs.
We'd always meet in a different city, but we'd talk every day.
It was clear from the wiretaps that she was willing to do anything.
Finally, I felt like a woman again. I lost everything I had while my husband was in jail because I had completely lost interest in it. At a certain point, I wasn't interested in what I was doing anymore.
There's only one thing on Antonella's mind. She calls her lover all the time, spending hours on the phone with him. It's an obsession that makes him more and more careless.
Her behavior is noted by one of her daughters, who then talks about it with her grandparents, in this case, Natale's parents.
Look who's here. She's got her head in the clouds, as if nothing were the matter.
Leave me alone.
Don't you love your husband? You know,
What's your problem?
the one who's in solitary confinement, remember? Come on, get your stuff together. You're coming home with us now.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me. I'll kill you if you come near me again.
We realized there was this very serious family crisis. Even Natale, who was in jail, heard about it through his brother and his mother, who broke the news to him.
We filmed their meeting in jail. Natale leaped out of his chair. It was a tough blow for him, a very tough thing to accept, especially considering public opinion in Ercolano.
At the peak of her criminal career, she commits a fatal mistake. Her relationship is now out in the open. It's an insult that the Camorra will never leave unpunished.
They organize a trap in a hotel in order to catch Antonella guilty of adultery.
We were in the room. They knocked, but I didn't want to open the door because I had a bad feeling about it. He opened it, and it was my brother-in-law and Natale's cousins.
Next time I'll kill you.
Go fuck yourself. Just go fuck yourself. They're brainless people. If we look at the situation in Camorra terms, instead of satisfying the boss and killing us both, they just highlighted it more. And at that point, it all turned into a big mess.
Natale's family didn't kill Antonella, sparing her life. But her life in the clan and the organization is over.
They threaten her, intimidate her, they even beat her up. She's robbed of the keys to her own home. In one word, banished. She's cast out and rejected from the clan and her family.
Antonella has paid a very high price for her infidelity. But it's not over yet with the Ascione clan.
That same night, they came to take my father from his home and took him to their headquarters. We had a little house there in the Cannellone district, and they came looking for guns because they knew I had them.
The Ascione men force her father to dig a hole and threaten to kill him right there, like a dog. They want the guns, and only Antonella knows where they are.
Dig. Don't stop. Dig. I'm going to kill you if you don't speak.
These guns can be linked to the clan's multiple murders. Evidence that Antonella might use for her revenge. But she knows more. She knows all the clan's secrets.
Natale knows Antonella is aware of his activities over the past 15 years. Not just of his, of course, but of the entire clan Ascione. We have taps in which she confides in her own cousin and gets her to tell the clan. Watch out, I might reveal everything. I've written a letter. If anything happens to me, it's going to be published.
They threatened me so much. They threatened me, and I'd threaten them. It was their word against mine. I'd threaten them on this level. This letter would have disclosed where the guns were stored and who had used them. That wasn't true. I was only bluffing.
Antonella Madonna's situation was very serious, very dangerous.
It was clear we had to arrest her. Firstly, the clan was planning to kill her. Plus, of course, we were hoping she'd collaborate in jail.
In December 2012, the Carabinieri take action. It's all over for Antonella. She knows she might suffer a heavy sentence. And it's only then, despite all the pain and regret, that Antonella finally feels a great weight lifted off her chest.
I felt free. I had been humiliated, and I was very angry. I lost it all in a flash. You only realize it once it's happened. You never realize it while you're caught up in the situation.
The judges have indisputable proof of her being guilty. Antonella is risking more than 20 years in jail. The worst sentence of all is that she won't be there to raise her daughters.
She's in confinement for the first 180 days. So in other words, it's hard for her to see her daughters, who are underage. She suffers enormously from that situation.
My daughters were the main reason for my collaboration. I knew the sentence awaiting me. My second daughter was just a year and a half old. So it was utterly heartbreaking for me. And that's why I began to collaborate.
È stato il passo alla collaborazione.
Antonella starts talking. She reveals her whole life and everything she knows about the clan. Her confessions are groundbreaking.
Her collaboration turns out to be devastating for the clan. We knew that through her, we were being led deep into the core, and ultimately, it led to the fall of the entire clan in Ercolano. Multiple arrests were made on the basis of her revelations, and a large number of people were tried and subsequently jailed. For this exact reason, she was put under special protection from day one.
The Camorra never forgives. Antonella has a €50,000 bounty on her head because the clan want their revenge at all costs.
During the inquiry, it came out that the Ascione clan members had found out where Antonella Madonna was being kept hidden. They had already made plans to kill her.
This discovery forces the judges to raise the protection level. Antonella and her daughters are moved to a different place. Now their life finally seems to be safe.
I began my life under protection. I'm in a house with my daughters. I live like all normal Italian families do.
Normali.
And I'm very happy in this new life.
In questa mia...
My hopes for the future aren't so much for myself, but rather for my daughters. I hope they'll make me proud one day. I hope they'll be respected and maintain their integrity.
Rispettate però pulite.
Does she remember anything?
No, she doesn't know. For me, it's important to be ready when the time comes. That's why I say to other women, wake up. It's time to live your life. You need to fight for what you really want.
Che realmente volete.
On May the 6th, 2013, Antonella Madonna was sentenced to 3 years in prison for Mafia association. Her sentence was reduced to 1 year of probation considering the mitigating factor due to her collaboration. She is currently living under protection with her daughters.